Like to go live.
I got it.
Greetings, Jacob Wild here with another exciting installment of Disney Debates Live. That's right, folks. We have no thematics this time. We're doing another simple back to the basics approach, just to freshen things up a bit. But don't worry, just because we don't have a theme doesn't mean we're skimping on the excitement. Here are the questions we have carefully curated for you tonight. Besides Guillermo del Toro, who should have directed the new Haunted Mansion movie? Which Star Wars character should get a spin-off series next? And which Disney movie should have featured Pee-Wee Herman? And a special selection of speed round questions. Now, board the Doom Buggies, sit down and say the magic words as we head on down to the arena. Now, please, let us welcome our contestants for this evening. In this corner, our resident daredevil lawyer with a love of superheroes and supervillains, it's Rohith Dog.
Hello.
And in the opposing corner, his name may be funny, but his debating skills are no laughing matter. It's Joker.
Hi. Hello.
And joining me on the tribunal this evening are Dragon and Tiki.
Howdy.
Yo, hoy, hoy.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Honestly, I'm really just very excited to get the debates back and up and running again. We've basically taken the summer off. So, yeah, hope it's a good one, guys.
Oh, yeah. Dragon?
I'm on the right side of the dirt.
Well, that's fair. Now, some of you guys may be aware of the rules, but I'll go through a quick version of them as a quick refresher, and for those who are joining us for the first time. First off, we have three main rounds, in which the order who goes first is decided by a randomizer, in which the contestants will give their pick, then dish out their opening statement. After both have given those, they will duke it out and see, and they will determine who has the better argument. Like why our option is better, why the other one is terrible. After we've heard enough, my cohort Dragon here will sound off R2-D2. Basically, and that will be your guys' signal to shut up. Okay, I'll put it politely. Okay, to put it politely anyway. So after R2-D2 sounds off, the three of us will deliberate, and whoever gets the most votes wins the point. At the end of the main rounds, however, the contestants will be offered a chance to flip a coin to gain a point. However, since I'm feeling generous, landing tails will not lose you a point. However, we also have a hidden coin that will have that penalty. and that is one coin you cannot turn down. And in addition to this, we have a penalty phrase. Dragon, explain how that works.
Well, folks, there is, hidden, let's just say, looming over the debate. There's a certain word, phrase, name, what have you. Might be nothing. Might not be a word. This could be an elaborate mind game. There might be one. There might be several, for all you know. If this word is said, something bad's going to happen. I'll put it to you that way. Something really bad's going to happen to you, and you don't want that to happen. So don't say the word, Okay, so starting after this disclaimer, Tiki and I will be on the lookout for said word, assuming there is one. If it is said, the player who said it will incur a penalty. It's the one-time thing, but it's going to be really, really bad.
And usually, as we've done it before, it was determined by a coin flip. But this time, we're doing something a little different. I won't say what it is, but just hope that fate is kind to you.
Ooh.
All right. Does everybody understand the word? Understand the rules?
I do. Sure.
All right. Cue the randomizer. All right, I'll cue the randomizer.
I'm sorry, Jacob. Obviously, the guy. I thought you were doing this. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll do it. Hold on.
My bad. It's This is like we're a little bit rusty coming back. Jacob, while you get that set up, I'm gonna shout out a couple people in the comments here.
All right.
We have Ko Gias. He says, question number 1 has an easy answer. Tim Burton seems destined to direct the Haunted Mansion. He loves gothic stuff, and he already directed the best Disney remake, Alice in Wonderland. Ooh, I'm not sure I agree with that last statement there, but I respect the opinion. Cartoonish Clad 2.0 says Spielberg or Greta Gerwig, although Burton makes sense. Greta Gerwig is an interesting kind of out of left field pick for that. I would be interested to see what she did with that. Okay, cue the randomizer, Jacob. I'm terribly sorry.
No, it's all good. 3.
Wait, make sure to have my name, please.
Oh, it's Laser. Yeah, sorry. All right.
We miss Laser, dude. He's enjoying he's basking in the joys of fatherhood right now, but we miss him.
I'm sorry about that. Randomize. And nothing changed.
Hey.
All right. Joker's going first. Okay.
All right. Let me give that. And our first question is this. Besides Guillermo del Toro, who should have directed the new Haunted Mansion movie?
Jokers.
Yeah, sorry. I was waiting for a cue. I picked Gore Verbinski.
And I picked Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly.
All right, guys. Joker's opening statement.
Yeah. Sorry. I think Gore Verbinski is a very proven director, especially for Disney attraction films. Oddly, it's a weird niche, but I think it works. He's very well known for his production design, which is something I think a Haunted Mansion movie needs. He has experience in horror and, like, I guess comedy. I don't want to action as well, but I don't really think a Haunted Mansion movie would be an action movie. But I think he has the right skill set to really bring a Haunted Mansion movie home. I haven't seen the new one yet, but I think he would, from what I've seen of it, I think he would be able to do more justice to the film.
All right, Rohit. Explain why Goldstein and Daly would be ideal.
Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly came onto the scene in 2015 with their directing of the remake of National Vacation. It had Hud Helms, and as such, it got mixed reception. But in 2018, they really hit their stride with the film Game Night that has Jason Bateman, Kyle Chandler, Rachel McAdams, Jesse Plemons, Billy Magnuson, and Lamorne Harris. It's got a quality cast, quality writing, quality direction. There's a lot of cleverness in the way things are done, and the conceit of board games and just challenges and just trying to outsmart one another in a friendly game night, as the title is well done. There's heart, there's comedy, there's thrills, there is a level of tension at certain points of the film. And in 2023, I feel they're one of the most underrated films of this year. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, I think, is the best audition for a haunted mansion movie. You have these directors going into a pre-established IP, a thing that is a name within the zeitgeist, within the general public's consciousness, and provided a fun, rollicking story that has a good level of horror, a good level of action, a good level of comedy. It utilizes actors that have been established and provide great performance, get really great performance out of them from the likes of Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Hugh Grant, Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, and Roger Jean Page, who I think is this absolute standout in the film. What these directors do is that they are able to thread a fine line between being both clever and sincere. And I think a haunted mansion movie needs that kind of balance where you have people where the story is aware of sort of the tropes that are prevalent in stories that take place in a haunted mansion or a locked location during.
Okay, Rohit. I think that's enough for the opening statement. Save some of that for the actual debate.
Sure.
I mean, those are all good. Those are all excellent points, but that is a bit much for an opening.
Okay.
But I do like it. But okay, guys, might as well move into the main round at this point. So go.
So my opening salvo against Gore Verbinski is that he hasn't made a good movie. He hasn't made a good live action film since 2002. He hasn't made
Incorrect.
a good movie since 2011.
Absolutely incorrect. Wait, what? He hasn't made a movie since 2011?
He hasn't made a good movie since 2011, and he hasn't made a good live action movie since 2002.
No, absolutely not. I really liked A Cure for Wellness personally, and I think that really proves that he could.
Wellness was not really well received. It didn't do well at the box office.
It didn't do well at the box office, but I wouldn't say it wasn't well received. I think it did pretty okay critically. Point being, I think Cure for Wellness is a very good example of what he could do with a Haunted Mansion movie, at least through production design. And I think, I think he would do really well. And also at the same time, I don't think he's made good movies since 2002. Obviously, the other two Pirates movies are a little bit more controversial than the first one, but I still think they're great, respectable films. Rango is great. The only real misstep that I can think of offhand is The Lone Ranger. And that's okay. We all have missteps. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, but the Lone Ranger is a really heavy mistake, especially in light of the fact that you had Johnny Depp as one of the main leads and wasn't well received and didn't do well box office wise. I think for the Haunted Mansion movie, you need to have directors that are able to do well with niche, kind of quirky
what?
materials.
Wait. So you're countering Gore Verbinski with the people who wrote the incredible Burt Wonderstone.
No,
you're saying that Gore Verbinski isn't a proven director and he can't do this. So let's get the people
that came out
made
with
Vacation.
One at a time.
Well received. So let's actually keep the score accurate. And two, Gore Verbinski, you're wanting to. So Lone Ranger, I think is very much indicative of the worst that Gore Verbinski can do. The worst for these guys was the National Vacation movie, which is actually a lot better than people give it credit for. And I think for a Haunted Mansion movie, you need directors that can do a fine balance of cleverness and sincerity.
When I think of a Haunted Mansion movie, I think of Chevy Chase and Ed Helms.
They accomplished that, and that is something that needs to be important. Gore Verbinski just feels too big. His sensibilities, you emphasize, him doing the right thing. It's
please let me respond to something. Please let me respond to something.
All right.
So you're saying that Gore Verbinski is too big, when what you really want from a Haunted Mansion is that verbosity. You want something grand. You want something striking. So I think Gore Verbinski is a great director, and he has proven, and he has proven that he can do horror. He can do small horror movies. He did the American remake of The Ring, and that was a wildly successful movie and a very critically well-liked movie.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, like these
Okay.
guys are doing good movies in recent history. I think if you're wanting to have a short bet, go for the directors. No, go for the directors that know how to direct ensemble cast really well. Both Game Night and Dungeons and Dragons have solid ensemble casts that give really.
And Gore Verbinski has made the trilogy of some of the most highest box office, highest grossing ensemble
Haunted
films.
Mansion is not going to be a Pirates of the Caribbean.
Of course not. But what I'm saying is that Gore Verbinski has the skill set, the know-how, and the reverence for the source material.
Let him talk.
Okay.
Gore Verbinski has the know-how, the reverence for the source material, and the ability to really make something like this, where the directors that you've chosen have just made mid-2010s comedies. And I mean mid, both in the time in the mid-2000s and middle of the road. They're okay comedies. Dungeons and Dragons was a great movie, but it's one great movie amongst 7 other okay comedies.
Very well received comedies on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, if we're talking about reception, Gore Verbinski has four times as many well received films as these guys do.
Gore Verbinski is not where he was in the early to mid 2000s. He is
okay. That doesn't mean anything. Neither's Coppola.
You're on a hot
neither Spielberg. What are you talking about?
Well, now rather than trying to go for a director whose best days are behind him. He is
well,
not.
Why don't I wouldn't say his best days are behind
yes,
him.
It is.
Why?
Wait. That's the biggest. That's one of the bigger L's you can take as a director. These guys have 2 recent movies where you have really fun dialogue, you have really great character,
and then The Flash.
What?
And then The Flash.
So what about The Flash? As in, I think The Flash is I think there's a lot of good things in The Flash,
and I think there's a lot of good things in A Cure for Wellness, and I think there are some okay elements about The Lone Ranger.
Yeah, but the thing
about instead of talking about
I feel
the critical, how critically received these films were,
creative, very clever, just very particularly. The move Haunted Mansion is a franchise. It needs to be something that's small, intimate, funny, clever, and these guys fit that to a glove. Gore Verbinski, I feel like it's just too big for what Haunted Mansion is. And
I really disagree. Well, how do you think these people could make a Haunted Mansion movie instead of just running in circles arguing about how critically well received these
No. So you look towards Game Night, you look towards Dungeons and Dragons Armored Themes. The common themes is that they take really niche topics or areas of things that in popular culture, like board games and Dungeons and Dragons, and take the themes or the ideas of those things and put them and weave them throughout the story, weave them throughout the characters, have specific definitive personalities that bounce off one another. There's clever twists in the plot. There is references that are meta, but not too in your face about it. And so Haunted Mansion with those guys, you have a movie. That version of that movie will be clever, would be sincere, would have a great ensemble cast that would have great performances because you have great writing and great direction behind them. It would be an ode and homage to the other Haunted Mansion movies of, the Haunted Mansion is the genre or trope of Haunted Mansion, the horror, these directors can do horror and tension. They're going to be a little bit of action. They're going to be a little comedy.
I don't know. So
you don't know. I just painted you the picture.
Well, Jesus Christ, can I fucking respond?
Haunted Mansion movie.
Jesus Christ, I let you go for 2 goddamn minutes. I say 3 words. Holy shit.
All right, let Jokers talk.
So my thing with these guys is how are they even different from the Haunted Mansion movie that we just got? Gore Verbinski,
because Justin Simien as a director doesn't have the skill, doesn't have the background to make the Haunted Mansion movie that Disney wanted him to make. He's made things like Dear White People and black and the thing about black hair. Those are things that are not really. There's not really much of an overlap between what he does well. Justin Simion's not a bad director, but things that he does well does not translate well to what Disney.
No, I understand that, but what you're describing as the Haunted Mansion film from these people sounds very similar to what we just got.
It's
Where I think Gore Verbinski can take it in a different direction that's closer to what the attraction is and what a Haunted Mansion movie, frankly, should be. It should be scary. It should be funny. It should have that production design. It
And
would be
those guys
smaller
can
by
do it.
virtue of it being set in a mansion, but I wouldn't really call it a small movie, you know?
I don't like when I say small, as in that Gore Verbinski's done big budget movies with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and these guys, I think, really do well in the mid budget, you know.
But a Haunted Mansion movie shouldn't be mid-budget.
No, Haunted Mansion movie should be one of the movies.
No,
should be
I think
Haunted
you're
Mansion's
only
gonna be a
saying that
$100 million
to protect the
movie.
house.
It is not.
No.
It is not a big IP. It's a kitchen.
It absolutely is a big
It's
IP. In a lot of ways, it's more popular than Pirates of the Caribbean.
Can be done well within its limitations, within its certain appeal, and I think these guys are more suited. Gore Verbinski.
And again, what
is
you're
not really
describing
good.
sounds no different from what we just got
It's
a
a
month
better
ago.
version of the current Haunted Mansion movie. Just because you saying Gore Verbinski does it different doesn't make it automatically good. You know, first of all,
Well, no, of course not.
All right, I think we've heard
Thank
enough.
you.
Heard enough on that one. I shall cast the first stone. All right. I think you guys honestly kind of got onto a rocky start there, especially with all the talking over each other. It's like you guys definitely need to work on that later. Work on that in the future rounds. I'll say that much, because it's kind of hard to hear what you guys have to say if I can't hear either one of you. But outside of the arguments, I'm going to give it to Jokers. I think Jokers raised more of the background related to Gore Verbinski, and said why he'd be a better fit for something like the Haunted Mansion. Diggy?
Yeah, I pretty much just echo everything you said. Guys, let's just not make hey, if my opponent can't say anything, then he won't get a word in. Like that's not a viable strategy, honestly. Like I want to hear the back and forth dialogue. So yeah. Honestly, Rohit, like I could tell you were trying to use that as a strategy, but honestly it kind of became a detriment as far as like me giving you a point, because I was like, okay, like he's literally just not letting Joker get an edge in at all. I do think that you had some good points about how these guys were very malleable as far as like, you know, put them into any sort of like obscure pop culture IP. They're going to do a good job with it. But I also think Joker had a good point about how like stylistically, like, yeah, they might be more talented than the current director on Haunted Mansion, but totally it wouldn't be that different. So, yeah, with all that being said, I'll give Jokers.
Dragon?
Well, not that it really matters at this stage. I'm just going to throw it out there. Yeah, you know, I'm a little conflicted because I think I heard two good arguments, but at the end of the day, you know, not factoring in the whole like potential intentional or not intentional kind of strategy on Rohit's part. At the end of the day, I feel I was buying into Rohit's points in his argument, what he was laying out. However, I feel Joker's, you know, I think he argued them his own points. That Joker's argued their own points better. So in that, and also I kind of concur with what Tiki just kind of laid out too, like the you know the point at the end there towards sorry, the point at the end about basically being the same movie again, just with two different directors, being the one we already got. I think that was a really good kind of like, if I was on the fence, that was the one that kind of pushed me a little bit more towards Joker's side ultimately.
Yeah, that was essentially the clincher for me too. Like,
Yeah, so I think it's a clean sweep for round one, it sounds like.
all right.
Right. I'll just shout out a couple comments here really quick. Cartoonish Claude, I'm just going to say Claude, says Jon Favreau directing the Haunted Mansion movie. Jon Favreau, on! That's all I'll say about that. Let's see. Gore Verbinski is a very good pick. He already has experience with spooky characters because of the Ghostly Barbosa and his crew. Yeah, indeed. Burt Wonderstone was actually pretty good.
I concur with that thought. It was. The movie it was a lot better than people give credit for.
I've honestly
All right.
never seen it. It looks good, and I do want to see it someday.
LAB says, this is very entertaining so far. Usually the baits don't get this heated. Kogias, yeah, this debate is warming up like a heater being cooked in a microwave. That's a good line. All right. Next up, Jacob. Sorry, Jacob. Go ahead.
Next up is this. Which character, this Star Wars character, should get a spin-off series next? But what I was saying was like it's good that it's heated. Like I said, just try not to talk over each other. Okay, Jokers, what is your pick?
Jacob, switch the image, Jacob.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
There we go.
I chose our boy, my Lord and Savior, Cal Kestis.
All right,
I don't know
our Lord and Savior. All right then. All right, Rohit, who's your Lord and Savior?
I don't know if I would feel comfortable calling this character my Lord and Savior.
Well, he could sell a few watchtowers.
I will say, out of all the characters that should get a spin-off series, Luthen Rael from the critically acclaimed Andor, I believe, should get a spin-off series of his own.
All right.
With cheese.
All right, and I take it the word was not said at all last round.
Not that I heard.
Did you catch it? Because I did not hear it myself either.
I did not catch it. No,
I didn't either.
Okay.
So, like remember, even between rounds, you're not safe.
No.
But all right, Jokers, opening statement.
Yeah, the Jedi series of games has been very popular, and most of it is to do with Cal Kestis as a character. I think he's a proven character. I really like him. He has a great actor behind him, Cameron Monaghan. They've been using him a lot more in promotional material, like as a physical actor. So I really feel like it's coming. And he's a character that like Star Wars fans have been really asking for in a live action space. So I really think he deserves his own show.
Pun intended or unintended?
What pun?
His own space.
Oh.
All right, and Rohit, tell us why your pick.
Luthen Rael, based on just when he came on the screen, played by the great actor Stellan Skarsgård, captured my attention. I think a lot of people's attention. And I think the big moment for him is his monologue into Lonnie Jung, an informant for the Empire. And I think the sentiments expressed in that monologue, how a show that could go into what makes a man get to that point in his ideology and his beliefs can be captivating. I think the best way to do a show for him would be sort of a Better Call Saul format, where you can do a prequel, sequel sort of a deal. Prequel 15 years ago, where he starts to become radicalized, become a rebel, and then a sequel maybe after the first season and or second season. I don't know what the events may be. Stellan Skarsgård as an actor just has done well in so many different projects, and I think this would be a great opportunity for him to shine in a leading role, especially in a big budget Disney Plus show. And I think because of Andor, I think there's an appetite for more serious, more thoughtful exploration of the Star Wars universe, and Luthen Rael would be the best venue to do such a thing.
All right, both interesting choices.
All right, I like to make my first point against Cal Kestis, and I'll end my point, and I'll let the joke respond. Cal Kestis is the lead character of two blockbuster AAA games where you get to spend at least 20 or 30 hours not just watching Cameron Monaghan act out in mocap performance and cutscenes, but also just regular dialogue when you're walking through levels of the game. You have so much from this character. A TV show would take away the engagement, the relationship with Cal Kestis, because video games is such an interactive, immersive medium. To transfer Cal Kestis from that medium to television as a lead, you lose something in the process. Whereas with Luthen, he's a TV character that gets expansion, that gets more to do.
Star Wars The Clone Wars is a TV show that had 5 seasons starring Ahsoka Tano, plus 3 seasons featuring her in Star Wars Rebels, and she got a TV show. Just because Ahsoka Tano gets a TV show... Oh, well, here's my response.
So Ahsoka Tano, I think, is distinct from Cal Kestis, and here's why. Ahsoka Tano, when we see her in the TV show, she's played by a different actress, and she's at a different stage of her life. And for Cal Kestis, at least in my view, I feel like his story is going to be played out in a third or fourth game. So I don't know what more we want to see from Cal Kestis.
So sorry to interrupt. You can finish if I didn't mean to.
So I don't know what more we can see from Cal Kestis that couldn't be better explored in another video game.
I think there's a lot you can see from Cal Kestis. One thing I find really interesting about the video game series is that they have realistic time jumps. So the first game took place, 5 years after Palpatine, after the rise of the Empire?
Yes.
And then the second game, Jedi Survivor, there's a whole 5-year gap in between both of those games, like real-time gap.
Okay.
And I assume that the next game would be doing about the same. One thing I find so there's a lot of time within that to explore. There's a lot that's set up in Jedi Survivor. Like, they literally thrust you into the middle of the action with a bunch of characters that you haven't met before, that it's kind of shown that Cal has been working with them for quite a while. So you could explore those characters. You could explore a lot with anything, really.
But let me I want to just interject for a second.
Yeah.
But why couldn't you I feel like those things could be better served in doing a video game, because then you have multiple hours of interacting, fighting with them, fighting alongside them. And I think
because I don't think
TV, it just feels like you're losing something in the translation from video game to television.
I disagree. I don't think the Jedi series really lends itself to longer flashbacks past what they did in the first game. I think it was really effective in the first game. And at the same time, a lot of IPs, a lot of media uses different mediums to fully lay out a story, to fully lay out their setup universe. I think that it could be really done very well with Cal's story. But another thing, to make one very quick point, that I really love about Jedi Survivor, and I would love to see it explored more, especially under the umbrella of the Jedi IP, is literally we're watching the Empire rise in real time.
See, and that's funny you say that, because that's probably the argument I would make for Luthen Rael's led series. And you have a great actor, Stellan Skarsgård. Cameron Monaghan is a great actor, but Stellan Skarsgård is like an actor's actor. He's worked with the likes of Denis Villeneuve.
I mean, I don't think that really means anything. I think that's kind of a cop-out to say he's an actor's actor.
If you're wanting a character who has an incredible actor and an incredible sense of purpose and sense of belief, Luthen Rael, how does a character come to the point where he has his monologue, where he feels that he will fight for a future that he won't see? He will use the tools of the enemy to destroy the enemy.
At that point,
and the fact that I'm using Better Call Saul as a way to do a show like that, where you have a prequel and a sequel, that would be great. That could be done well with Better Call Saul, and that could be done well with Luthen. Cal Kestis is he's a great character, but I feel like he's a character that is, because through the video games we have such a strong attachment to. And I think Cameron Monaghan...
And that's why I think he would be so effective, because Cameron Monaghan is a great character. His game... a great actor, I'm sorry. His games take place in a very interesting time in Star Wars that isn't really fully explored. And I do have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
How is your character show different from Andor? And how is your character different from Saw Gerrera? Because it really just sounds like a retread of that.
So,
whereas...
I'll answer both questions.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm trying to say that so the thing is, my response is that because Luthen is such a ideologically different character, the thing is that Andor, when he starts out, he's just kind of scavenging and becomes radicalized, becomes an ideologue. Luthen is a character who's radicalized from the start, at least of Andor, and it's interesting to see because he's a man from a well-to-do background, so he's kind of a mix of Saw Gerrera, Mon Mothma.
So he's Saw Gerrera.
Here's the thing: we don't get much Star Wars material that goes into morally complex characters that are, at the very end of the day, do good work but are not wholly good. And Cal.
Well, that's another fantastic point towards Cal Kestis, because the way Jedi Survivor ended.
And I just feel like I want to see more dramatic, more morally complex Star Wars because we get rarely that kind of material. We get rarely this kind of characters.
Well,
And
no, you're right, but again,
get
I think that really
more
plays
work.
into Cal Kestis.
But
Because Cal is very much.
You're taking you're I feel like you're diminishing Cal Kestis like story by taking from video games to TV. Whereas with Luthen,
No.
you're taking a side character, putting him in the lead, surrounding him with characters that could be from his same social cast, from different casts. You could have someone who's like a Benjamin Franklin, someone who can convert with society, but deep down is a rebel. Is someone that
No, I disagree completely.
That is fascinating. And Stellan Skarsgård as an actor with
Can I respond?
Go with the Dragon Tattoo and
Can I respond?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
I'm just going,
I think Cal is in a really interesting position, like in his characterization. During the sequel trilogy, where we all thought that Rey was going to be like a great Jedi, that's kind of what Cal is now, and I think it's really interesting. I would really like to explore it, kind of like a side. Please let me finish. In like a little side story that's sort of detached from the games, but is a way to flesh out his character, a way to flesh out the side characters that we see in the game, because there's so much potential for this character that I think he kind of transcends the games.
but
I also think that Cal Kestis is a really good vessel to help us explore the very, very early empires we started to see in Jedi Survivor, which is something that we haven't really seen in media. We only really see the Empire, we see it in its infancy, but when we see it, it is very much present. It is very much a force.
Here's the
where
thing,
the Jedi series introduces this very interesting notion of us watching it grow in real time.
Yeah,
but I'd love to explore that more.
But you can do that with Luthen Rael, who is more focused on the Empire, because after Revenge of the Sith, 5 years is when Cal is in hiding. He's not really doing much.
I'm not talking about right after Revenge of the Sith. I'm talking about the time between Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. There's a whole 5 years.
That kind of history can be explored in comics, and the thing is, with the side characters.
Well, how is that? Why not explore it in a TV show? Why does it have to be a comic book?
It's basically if you're giving me criticism about me retreading stuff from Andor, I would respond back to you retreading stuff from Star Wars Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels. It's like
No, I disagree because it's from a different time. What I'm saying about let me respond. What I'm saying about your show and about your character is that it sounds very similar to Andor. But literally, please let me finish my point.
Okay.
It's very similar to Andor, in its intent. And the character just sounds like Saw Gerrera with a different name.
He is not Saw Gerrera. If you actually...
describe him at his very base. Describe him at his very base.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Luthen Rael as a character is a man who's wanting to have a revolution, but is not glossed himself. He's a man that has to pretend to be part of the system. The disguise, or he has a wig on and all that. That's fascinating character work that Stellan Skarsgård could go into to watch.
But do you really think that an old man spy would lend itself to a full show?
No, let me finish. Cal Kestis, I'm wanting to play 30, 40 hours of his story. And now you want me to just watch 8 hours that they don't have as high as a budget as a AAA video game? I feel like you're losing something. And side story in between, let me finish, between Fallen Order, between Survivor, that stuff I could just read in a comic book or read in a novel. I know.
But why wouldn't you want to see the actor doing it in live action instead of getting a random side character, admittedly played by a very, very good actor?
Because the stories in between Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor are not as interesting as a man who is who's among the upper class, but is secretly wanting to burn the system, to uproot the system.
I don't think that could carry a show.
All right. That was interesting, and now I'm going to do something I forgot to do last time. All right. Dragon, thoughts?
Well, this was a tense one, for sure. Two solid picks, and I think the arguments were strong. Yeah, a little more civil. Brutal, but still civil.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, at the end of the day, I was really drawn into it with the back and forth on Ahsoka, like how that went down. That was a really good, really good thing there, where it was kind of brought up that, well, we had all these seasons of Ahsoka, but then I think Rohit then came back at it with like, well, yeah, but it's like a different status quo for us. I think Rohit made a number of really good points, but ultimately, I feel Joker's dug in with the Saw Gerrera point. I know Rohit fought to the tooth and nail to really say no, it's not just Saw Gerrera again. But even when I was buying into that defense of that, I then heard like, hey, basically, like, why it sounds like I think Rohit fed into Joker's argument a lot and saying like, why wouldn't we want to see this? It's like a novel and a comic continuation. Why wouldn't we want to see this? And I think he's going somewhere with the budget there, but then ultimately what I think what cinched it for me is that Rohit kind of shot his foot off here, where he said like, "Well, tell me what sounds more. There's not enough story between what happens between Fallen Order and this versus like, here's a story you have of kind of like an upper crust guy being disenfranchised, where it's like, I don't know. I think it kind of lost me at that point. It's like, I think he said the other one's more interesting, so I'm going to give it to Jokers.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because like I'm actually going to give my point to Rohit.
Cool.
I think Rohit like defended his point. The point last time. Don't get me wrong. I love Fallen Order, but like what got me was like what got me with that was like Rohit's like point of interactivity. Like the reason why a lot of people connect with Cal is because of the way he's written as a video game character and a character as a whole. Like, and I mean, though a character could be written similarly in live action, you lose that tangibility when you transfer that over into a TV show. And obviously, not that that's a bad thing, because like obviously the character he chose still works on a fundamental level. So that's why I'm gonna give my point to Rohit. So that leaves Tiki as the tiebreaker.
All right. Yeah, I think this was. I agree. It was a very intense battle. And also shouting out Theme Park Priest and Keeper Colby in the comments. But for me, I am going to go ahead and give the point to Rohit, and I'm going to echo what Jacob said about the video game adaptation versus, deeper character exploration. I'm also going to add on the fact that I think Joker's had a lot of room to defend that argument, especially with the popularity of stuff like The Last of Us. And he just didn't take it. So I was literally looking for, that's an easy point to counter against, because we literally just had something like The Last of Us become like pretty much the biggest TV show of 2023. And he just did not pull that card. So because of that, I think in a close battle, I'd give the edge to Rohit.
Woohoo! So that leaves it 1 point Jokers and 1 point Rohit. First things first, gentlemen. Did anybody say the words?
I didn't hear it. Tiki, did you?
I was listening for it. No, I did not hear it.
Jacob, did we miss anything?
I didn't hear it either.
Okay, so I guess I'm pretty sure it wasn't said this round.
Okay. Also, Jacob, what's the status on the coin?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Tiki, because I found it this time.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
It's like, and this coin to continue with the bare bones basic theme that we're doing is called the ordinary coin that I found while cleaning my closet.
Oh God. Which means it has no use in this fight, I assume.
No, I mean it does have a use. And
okay.
And remember, this is the one that cannot be turned down. The winner of this round has to play the coin.
Time to pay the lawyer.
But if it's tails, you don't lose a point, correct?
No, that's only for the end.
Oh, okay.
For the main round coin. Like you guys have the choice to flip that one, and if it lands on tails, you will not be punished for that one.
Okay.
That one's basically a potential freebie.
Okay.
whereas this one is a take it or leave it that you can't refuse.
Ooh.
Okay, so all right, I'll flip it a couple times just to
Just to warm it up.
Demonstrate the functionality.
and I'll refresh it as well. So there we go. So, and I'll actually do something interesting this time. Take it, Rohit, heads or tails?
All right, can't pass on the coin toss.
Like, you can't pass on this one, but I'll give you the opportunity to choose which one it lands on.
Oh God.
Call it, Rohit. Call it.
I mean, it's not going to be like it lands on heads, you get a point. It lands on tails, you lose one. But if say you call tails and it lands on tails, I'll give you the point.
All right, I'll do what Thor did in Infinity War and go for the head.
All right. Remember, and this, I guess it's usual this time. Heads, you gain a point. Tails, you lose a point.
Whoa!
Hey!
Oh God!
Wow.
Oh man!
Rohit's gamble paid off.
He's got 2 on the board.
Yay!
All right.
No, he's got 2.
I think if we make it mandatory, I think that actually makes it a good compromise to have them call it instead. Yeah, and so it's Rohit 2, Jokers 1. As
All
we
right.
Number 1, boy.
I won?
Yeah, you're number 1.
Hey.
He was number 1. Oh my God.
All right, and that brings us to question numero 3. Which Disney movie should have featured Pee-Wee Herman?
Just sitting there staring.
And of course, this is in honor of the late great Paul Rubens, of course.
Yep.
Of course.
I picked a goofy movie.
I picked the 2005 classic Sky High.
Both very good choices.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Jokers?
I think a goofy movie is really steeped in the pop culture of the time that it was made. So I think that specifically Pee-Wee Herman, not Paul Rubens, is a good choice for a goofy movie because it is so rich with its pop culture. Or I think he would fit in like a glove. A goofy glove.
And Rohit? Explain why Sky High would be ideal for Pee-Wee.
Sky High is a world filled with superheroes that are incredibly idiosyncratic, quirky, neurotic, and Pee-Wee Herman, just being Pee-Wee Herman, can enhance the craziness, the sort of the wackiness of that world. I think his interactions with certain characters, like Ron the bus driver, Mr. Jonathan Boy, or his interactions really against the supervillains, they would add to sort of the humor of the movie. Pee-Wee Herman, I think, could, if he were to get superpowers, would really add a lot to the movie. There's a lot that, through the character, can make a movie that's great in humor, even funnier and even wackier, and just an overall fun time.
All right. Good work, guys. Battle it out.
Wait, I have a question for Jokers. So
Yeah.
for Pee-Wee Herman, is he just showing up in animated form in a goofy movie, just making just like a cameo? Like, what's the context of him showing up?
Animated, but
Okay.
playing Pee-Wee Herman, kind of like Kermit the Frog and Amphibia.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna be real. This was a very hard question for me to answer because it was specifically Pee-Wee Herman and not Paul Rubens.
Mhm. Well, my thing is that I feel like Pee-Wee Herman, he's such a wacky guy, and a lot of the fun of the character is just him, going nuts and just kind of being a very idiosyncratic, quirky mess. And I feel like that can work well in Sky High, which is a very ensemble-heavy movie. He can really play off against the teachers, the students, the supervillains, even regular people. Whereas I feel like for a goofy movie, it's very singularly Max and Goofy's movie, and I feel like people would take away the focus from that.
Not necessarily. I think that a Goofy movie does have its moments of being an ensemble comedy, especially towards the beginning. So I think that he would fit really well in a lot of scenes in a Goofy movie. I also just really love the idea of Pee-wee Herman in that goofy movie dog caricature style. A Goofy movie has a history of casting comedians. Like Pauly Shore was one of the main characters, or one of the main side characters, I guess, in that movie. My thing with Sky High is that it's so fast. There's so many characters that I think Pee-wee would be a little distracting. Where Pee-wee in a Goofy movie, I think would work really well. I think he would work really well in a cartoon medium. I think he would fit right in because by virtue of the Goofy movie being what it is and being the style that it is, both in humor, writing, aesthetic, where Sky High it might be a little much because there's already a lot of pretty screwball characters in that movie.
See, but the thing is, Pee-wee Herman is so much, but that's kind of the charm and appeal of Pee-wee Herman as a character. And I feel like there's something that's kind of lost if you were to put him in an anime movie, because the thing is, if you were live action and you see him played by Paul Rubens, it's just that I think Pee-wee Herman is a live action cartoon, and I think Sky High has live action cartoonish characters. Like imagine Pee-wee Herman getting bullied or even bullying Cooch Boomer. Like there's
I don't want to see him get bullied.
No, but just the general like just dynamics. I feel like for a Goofy movie, like when you talk about the ensemble, that's what you say. You mentioned it's kind of key in your response was that it was in the beginning. It's in the beginning, but the thing is, after that big opening, the first act, it's a road trip movie, and I feel
but he's not a main character, and that road trip as well is just a lot of vignettes. You could fit him in very easily. But my thing with Sky High, very quickly, my thing with Sky High is that there's a lot of very big personalities in that movie, and I think adding Pee-wee would just be putting a hat on a hat. Pee-wee works in his movies. Obviously, the show is a little different because it's its own Pee-wee world. But Pee-wee works in his movies because the other characters are normal. So, like, obviously, Pee-wee is a great character. He works really well, but I don't think he would be nearly as effective with characters that are matching him. But where a Goofy movie is very grounded, where I think he could work. He doesn't have to be a main character, obviously, even if it's just a cameo. But I think he would work better in a Goofy movie than in Sky High.
See, your characterization of Goofy grounded, Sky High being heightened, that's actually an argument, at least for me, I feel like that's the argument for putting Pee-wee Herman Sky High, because a Goofy movie, like, it's a road trip movie, it's very realistic, and the humor is from seeing very heightened versions of things you see on a road trip with your dad. And
like Pee-wee Herman.
Like, I just feel like Pee-wee Herman it's not something I can conjure up in my mind and see it coming across on a heightened road trip with my dad.
I totally can. I can totally see him showing up more so than Sky High.
They have weird things about them. Pee-wee Herman fits in and just adds to the dynamic, adds to the atmosphere of the world. I feel like Pee-wee Herman, it's like you're saying it's a hat, but it's like you gotta have the character match the energy of the world. I feel like Pee-wee Herman's energy just coalesces and is amenable to Sky energy, whereas a Goofy movie, it's a
Pee-wee is not a character who needs to match the energy of the world.
And I think Pee-wee Herman kind of just makes things. It just kind of looks awkward. It's a weird like.
Pee-wee works as a character because he's an outlier and because he's so different. And I think having him show up in a Goofy movie, even briefly, would work really well. In Sky High, let me put it this way. The way I could picture him showing up in Sky High is the same way I could picture Michael Jackson showing up in Men in Black 2, where it's like a very quick cameo and you're sitting in the audience watching the movie and he shows up and you're like, and that's it. Where a Goofy movie, I think he could make for a genuinely memorable scene because he would heighten his scene because it's grounded until you go into these weird scenarios like the animatronic show, like the Leaning Tower of Cheesa, like Powerline at the end. Adding Pee-wee would enhance whatever scene he's added to. Where if he's put into Sky High, he's not really enhancing anything. It's just, oh look, it's Pee-wee Herman. He's Pee-wee. Oh, he has superpowers? Yeah, okay.
The charm of Pee-wee Herman as a character is just his interactions with other people. So I think, imagine him interacting with Bruce Campbell's coach Bob. Imagine him interacting with the sidekick teacher. Imagine him interacting with Will's parents. Imagine him like being like a teacher, or him like getting superpowers and fighting against that one villain that's played by Jim Parsons of Community fame. There's so many different permutations of Pee-wee Herman adding to a scene, adding to a vibe. And I think for a Goofy movie, it's a funny movie, but it's a really sincere movie. And I think Pee-wee Herman, like I said, is a live-action cartoon. And Sky High has characters of live-action cartoons. So it's kind of Pee-wee Herman. It's fitting. It's a piece that fits with the rest of the puzzle Whereas I think a Goofy movie, you're just fitting, square peg.
I feel like calling him a live action cartoon is just a point towards him being in a Goofy movie. Because if he's a live action cartoon, why not feature him in a cartoon? And again, I think this is going to sound weird, but I think even his face lends itself very well to the dog style caricature that they use for all the characters in that movie.
I think for a Pee-Wee Herman, it's like the emphasis, the live action part is important, and I think like for Pee-Wee Herman, he's just this wacky, just kind of out there guy, and I think having him in a world where people can lift tall buildings or lift trucks above their heads. Pee-Wee Herman, seeing him react to that or be a part of that action, I think is sort of, it feels kind of like, imagine like an episode of Pee-Wee Herman's Playhouse where Pee-Wee Herman gets superpowers and does the superhero thing, and that's not high. Whereas I feel like Pee-Wee Herman, like being in a Goofy movie, it's just like, oh, here's this guy being weird that like a father and son just encounters on their road trip and then moves on.
Like what they do in every other scene in that movie.
But you want to hone in on Pee-Wee Herman's energy. You want to hone in on the vibes that like.
But again, there's so many over the top characters in that movie. A scene with Pee-Wee Herman has no straight man in that movie, which I think is a detriment to the character, which is why he doesn't work in Sky High.
There's plenty of straight man characters in Sky High, and that could be the fun of it, where he's the weird one and that has superpowers or doesn't have superpowers, and is interacting with normal people and weird people. I don't know.
I just can't picture Pee-Wee Herman interacting. I can't picture Pee-Wee Herman interacting with a teenager in 2005.
But you're interacting with a teenage kid and his dad on a road trip.
No, but those are caricatures.
No, but
so I think it would work better in that way.
I feel like if anything, you want Pee-Wee Herman to just imagine Pee-Wee Herman having to save the day alongside the kids at the prom night. That, and considering what Pee-Wee Herman's his solutions, his Pee-Wee Herman way of doing things, it will add to the humor, but add to the sort of the fun and the silliness of it.
But it just sounds tacked on.
But I feel like
Pee-Wee Herman, a Goofy movie, is a more natural addition than in Sky High.
I disagree. I feel like anything it takes away from a Goofy movie being, while funny, but a really sincere, kind of intimate, kind of,
You can still, there's a lot of sincerity in Pee-Wee. You can absolutely have sincerity in Pee-Wee Herman.
But the thing
and again, the movie is so steeped in the culture of its time. And in the 90s, the 80s and 90s were Pee-Wee Herman's time. 95 was right around the time that Paul Reubens was starting to come back. Well, I could very easily see this happen.
But Pee-Wee Herman is as good of a character as O'Donnell. Even though he was big in the 80s and 90s, he's still a good character. And I think
no, absolutely. No. I'm not saying that he's not a good character outside of the 90s. What I'm trying to say is that there's a huge stylistic and tonal difference in Sky High, where the comedy characters, the over-the-top characters, are already very over-the-top, and the straight characters are very straight. Whereas but in a much different way. They're straight in a much different way.
With those straight characters. So I feel like Pee-Wee Herman, okay, he gets to bounce off Goofy and Max, whereas for Sky, there's a buttload of fun characters, both straight and quirky. But
again, they're quirky in a very similar way to Pee-Wee that I don't think lends to either character. Or rather, they're straight. They're quirky in a cartoonish way, but not in the same style of comedy as Pee-Wee, if that makes sense. I just think he would stand out in a negative way.
I think the thing is, for a Goofy movie, the way you're talking about Pee-Wee Herman Goofy movie, it's okay, you make him out to a side attraction. Pee-Wee Herman is a great character that you really kind of want to put the money shot on. You want to let him kind of do a bit. And I feel like Sky High, you can have scenes where Pee-Wee Herman is just riffing.
He can still do a bit. Paul Reubens is a really famous improviser.
There's more permutations with Pee-Wee Herman and Sky.
All right. Good word, guys. First things first. Kiki.
All right. Yeah, honestly, Jokers, I think you blew this one out of the water. I think you had a lot of really compelling points. For me, the Michael Jackson and Men in Black 2 comparison was a fucking killer. I don't think Rohith ever recovered from that. And I just overall generally agree that Pee-Wee would fit into the vibe and Pee-wee has like a certain level of sincerity and earnestness that complements Goofy Movie, and also just the time period of it all works a lot better. We would not want to see Paul Rubens interacting with a teenager in 2005. That would be weird. All right.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I know.
And Dragon?
Yeah, so I gotta admit, going into this this debate, I was most interested to see how round 3 went. So I think good points were made on both sides, but at the end of the day, I think I could feel Rohit sweating on this one. I can kind of tell, and it feels like I think he was a little repetitive with the same point, and I really wanted one thing out of this fight, and he didn't give it to me. I was wanted to hear, like, why would Pee-Wee Herman not be out of place? Either not specifically, he has to tell me why is he out of place, but just in general, like, why is this a good idea? Why is like Pee-wee Herman in the Sky High story, something that could work either as like a gag or not, or like why would Pee-wee Herman be at this school for superheroes? And I'm not looking for like a laid out like story or necessarily here, but I'm saying I wanted to hear a little justified where I feel Joker has kind of laid that out a little better. Like, okay, you have these big personalities. We've caricatured we've caricatured other celebrities in the Goofy Movie style before in that movie. So I feel there's more of a rationale there than there was with Sky High. And I was so hoping that getting into this, Rohit would kind of sell me on that. And all I heard was like the same thing of like, well, I heard the personalities point of like, you have him like he would fit in with it'd be really cool to see him interact with Bruce Campbell. Yes, it'd be wonderful to see Pee-wee Herman interact with Bruce Campbell, no question. But why is he there? So, I'm casting my vote for Jokers as well.
All right, we have 2 for Jokers, and that means ultimately my vote doesn't count. But I would also vote for Jokers in this sense, Yeah, he appealed to the cultural zeitgeist of the time and explained why it would work. I think Rohit did raise a couple of good points raise good points, but I think Joker's countered very well, like especially the whole like vignette argument. Like the whole movie is kind of like them on this road trip, and it's like a series of vignettes almost. It's like, so I think the Joker's kind of came out on top here.
I will say this. Just real quick, had this been Paul Rubens and not Pee-wee Herman, I think Rohit might have more to work with the I'm blanking on the trying to think of the superhero movie that Paul Rubens did, when I played the Spleen.
Mystery Men.
Mystery Men, thank you. Yes, so the Mystery
I didn't realize I was muted.
But yeah, the Mystery Men movie. I don't know, I think it feels like that might have been like the more like it would have been cool to have Paul Rubens in there, but clearly I think there was it was an uphill battle there of like, how do I justify Pee-wee Herman there instead of like, well, Paul Rubens, he's been in a superhero movie before, he'd be filthy a glove here.
That's what was messing me up too, is that I had to be Pee-wee.
Yeah. I would have been easier, but we made it difficult.
I also just want to say that I'm really, really glad that we did not bring up his legal issues.
Yeah.
That would have been a whole thing.
Now we did. Thanks a lot.
Well, no, I meant during the debate.
Well, we have
If my cousin Vinny was a Disney movie, it would have been relevant.
Well, yeah. Well, so mine was right after his first legal issue, and yours was right after his second.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Well, technically, my cousin Vinny was released by Fox, so technically it now is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way.
Okay.
So, you know what that means, folks? The main rounds are over. And it is time for the coin! And this
Jacob, really quick, I'm sorry. Are you gonna need me to do the stopwatch on the speed round?
Yes.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
All right, I'm trying to. I muted it, but turns out I shrunk my window, and that's why it's not showing up. Let me just pull that up. I'm sorry for all that, guys. And here's the coin. Remember, this one you don't have to flip, but you also won't lose anything if you do. So, since Jokers won, you get first pick.
So I flip with no repercussions.
Basically, yes.
Then I'm going to flip.
All right. Ah.
Oof.
Well, it's still 2-2. Rohit, will you flip?
Is there no repercussions for me as well?
Yes.
All right, flip it.
Ah.
Double whammy. Wow.
Nice.
Really quick before we go into the speed round, I just want to point out some comments here. Let's see. Z&K says, by the way, hey there, Z&K. Happy to see you. He says, I could see Pee-Wee showing up during On the Open Road, riding his bike. Indeed. Claude, I love this casting, honestly. Paul Rubens as Zazu. What do you guys think? I think that's really inspired.
I like the British accent, but I think it could be good as well.
Yeah.
Just for something different. I don't know, because it's like
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Oliver. It's like...
Yeah.
If this is how casting in live-action Disney movies is going to go, county out.
What?
That was a very niche joke, Tiki.
Yes, that is a very niche joke. You're right. Dragon will explain it all. All right.
John Oliver didn't enunciate during the 2019 Lion King.
Literally,
So,
if you listen to if this is where the monarchy is headed, count me out. He literally doesn't. He pronounces it county out.
It's
You can
county
still
out.
hear it like, yeah, county out.
Okay.
All right. I think Sky High should have had someone who's known for playing a superhero instead of Pee-Wee Herman. Yeah, I mean, but like Dragon said, Paul Rubens was in Mystery Men, so
Yeah.
He's
plays
technically
the-
known for playing a superhero.
Yep.
Oh, I like this. I like this call. Z&K says can be the same as the Powerpuff Girls birthday episode where Princess Leia is just there, no reason, she just is. All right. Also, we do have some speed round questions. Claude just posted one, so I
Yeah,
don't
we
know
should
if we want to
mention
start
just-
out with that.
Well, let's reaffirm real quick. Going
Okay.
into this. And folks in the audience, you guys can ask questions, and we might be inclined to use them.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot
And
to
you
mention.
get to call who the winner of the round is. You know, of your question, who made the better argument. They're going to get that point. So their fate is in your hands.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that during the main round.
So good.
Man.
Okay, so miraculously, it is 2-2 due to like both good luck and bad luck with the coin.
We did it.
I know, right?
Great
I mean,
equalizer.
I mean, the amazing thing is, like, I was trying to be generous with the whole like it won't lose a point thing, but nobody even gained a point during that.
I'm not sure how I feel about that rule, by the way. Just
I
because
think you
kind
should
of,
flip the rule.
like.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I
The
agree.
found coin, you don't
Should
lose
be
a
the
point.
one that just
Yeah.
All right, because I don't know. There should be some risk involved. Anyways, it's not important. We have time to workshop it. All right. So should we go with the Claude question?
What even is the Claude question?
Well, I guess if we did it, it'd be this one right here.
Tiki, there's one. There's another cartoonish clock question. Just one question.
Okay. That okay.
Oh, I
Okay,
like the
yeah,
second question.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. Boom. What do you guys think? Who should compose music and write songs for a Disney movie?
All right.
Do they have to be alive?
I would
should they
say
compose the music?
probably, yeah.
Damn.
We're not like retroactively like.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd probably make the songwriting easier.
We'll bring it back. Should compose
Shock them a
music.
few times. See what
And
happens.
remember who speaks first goes first.
Yes.
We'll be needing answers from one of you guys sooner or later.
I'm thinking. I'm having a big think.
If you're talking about risk, I can start taking away points for not answering.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, come on, guys.
Oh my god.
Let's entertain this possibility.
Holy shit, it's been 20 seconds. Oh my god.
Let us ponder. Let us ponder.
Yeah.
I know, but hey, you guys wanted risk.
Let me ponder my
Alright,
order.
easy.
Let's see what I have in my playlist. Cool tunes.
I have a question. Just a question. I just need some clarification.
No, just don't take me off.
I just wanted to make sure because does this have to be? What if they compose movies that were under subsidiary of Walt Disney Company of the Disney?
I think he's probably referring to write songs for an animated movie.
That's what I assumed too. Yeah.
So if it's under a subsidiary, then they're free game.
Okay.
The Weekend.
Yeah.
No.
I know. Just 1 year ago, he had a Halloween Horror Night Maze, and now look at him.
I picked Jeff Mangum. No, let's do it.
Oh my god.
That one was for Tiki. Let's go with Weird Al Yankovic.
I think he's
Hey. You do not know who the other choice is, Dragon.
I don't.
So Rohit, who do you choose?
Ooh. So this person has to compose music and write songs.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the person who composed the film. It can just be the person who wrote the songs.
Yeah.
I can do
Like a
duo.
musical.
Or does that?
I'm sorry, Rohit, what'd you say?
Could I do a duo and two people that has worked together in the past?
Okay, songwriting team's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I would count that. That's fine.
I was looking at bands, if it helps at all.
And Ludwig Göransson.
Ooh. Okay, say that one more time, Rohit.
Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, and Ludwig Göransson.
Okay, there we go. All right. Just want to make sure everyone heard. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jokers, whenever you are ready.
It's 15 seconds first, right?
No, 30.
30, 15.
Okay, perfect. It's been a while. Okay. Weird Al Yankovic is a very good composer, or very good songwriter. I really love his original stuff, and I think it'd be really interesting to see a proper Weird Al musical, or Weird Al composed musical. He's very family friendly, purposefully. So I think Disney would be a really good fit for him. And I just love to see something animated with him attached to it. I think it would be a lot of fun. And it would hopefully give us another album. So that would be pretty cool, too. The end.
Unless someone Go on, Rohit.
Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, is a great musician, and Ludwig Göransson is a great composer. They've worked together on producing Childish Gambino's albums Camp, Because the Internet Awakened My Love. And so bringing these two on to make music for a Disney movie, you have an eclectic sound that's very funk, disco heavy, and could be something that's interesting and different from a lot of other Disney movies music, which is more classical, traditional, compositional, more pop heavy. This could be something a little more funk, R&B, hip-hop, something that can really make music stand out.
Okay, call me a purist, but I'm not sure I really like the idea of a funky Disney musical. It sounds cool, but I think I would prefer the comedy and the uniqueness of Weird Al's voice that I think he could bring to a Disney movie. I just think it would be more fun than Donald Glover. The end.
Donald Glover and Ludwig Göransson can provide something new and interesting. Weird Al, I think, can just be reinforcing some of the same traditional beats and music in past Disney movies that have been more self-referential. This is a new sound, new way of just kind of feeling a Disney movie, and I think that's really important.
All right, Claude, it's your pick.
I honestly think this was really close. I
Yeah.
think you both had really good points.
Exactly. So, Claude, if you're still here, let us know who won your heart.
One is hard.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I guess we could highlight any other comments while we wait for Claude to make his decision.
Yep.
Can you
Yeah,
play
I mean,
more
of course.
music?
Is Working Vine to Dine like an actual Weird Al parody?
No.
No.
Oh man.
It's a theme park Grease parody.
Hmm.
I don't want this to influence Claude's decision at all, but I'm just going to make the observation that, like, if Weird Al were to compose the music, like the actual instrumentation, it'd be just like literally like an all accordion Disney musical.
No, what are you talking about?
I mean,
We have
mean,
a verdict.
actually, that's not necessarily his most recent comment isn't necessarily a verdict.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Claude, can you confirm you're voting Donald Glover because it sounds like you're weighing the options.
Oh, the suspense is killing us.
And
No, he totally said.
I just want to make sure.
And I'll say that Weird Al actually obviously he composes for a wide range of styles, so it'd be more than just
Jacob, I know, I was totally kidding.
I know. Well, let's just hope that in this time he isn't killed by Madonna.
God.
Hey Tiki,
Yes.
you ever had a Klondike bar?
No, actually.
What?
No, why do you ask?
Really?
No, I've never had a Klondike bar.
Go out and buy one right now.
What is there
No,
nuts
wait.
in it at all?
No, I don't think. Well, there are kinds
so.
with
There are
nuts.
varieties, but not the main one.
Just don't get the one with
Okay.
nuts or the one with mushrooms.
Okay, we have an actual verdict.
He picked Donald Glover.
All right.
All right, so
That'd be-
Rohit's got 3 on the board.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
We have some We have a couple comments here, a couple audience participation ones. But I'm not sure if there's any like really important speedrun questions we want to get to. So
There are a couple we do want to go over.
okay, well, I just want to shout out Laser Dune in the comments. Just happy to see you. Hope everything's going well on your end.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know, Jacob. Do you want to do one of your? Because we have quite a few good ones to pick from just here in the comments.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of want to.
Okay.
Go. It's like, Dragon. I think we need to do a Muppet question. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, dude. All right. Which Universal Studios attraction should the Muppets go on?
Universal?
Yes.
Mhm.
Wait, just ride?
If it basically in reference to Muppets visit Walt Disney World, but instead of them, let's just say they go to Universal instead. They took the wrong road and ended up at Universal instead.
That'd be a great way to announce that Universal bought them.
It would be.
Universal wouldn't know what to do with them.
I don't know. I think they might. Honestly, maybe. Anyways,
I'm thinking. That's wild.
And it could be a
What
ride.
ride?
It could be a ride or attraction.
Oh yeah. I think they should ride. Oh god.
there's a lot of options, guys.
I
This isn't a
know,
hard-
but it's also
I have a question. So and
Okay.
pick our choice of the ride. Are we arguing for this ride would be the most fun for the Muppets, or the most fun for us, the audience, to see the Muppets go off?
Whichever one you think would be best.
Okay.
A pick.
Laser
Fast
dude.
and the Furious Supercharged.
Oh my
Okay.
God, hell yes.
Yeah.
Respect.
Thank you. I
And
only take
first-
the best.
The Muppets are about family, okay?
Oh my God.
What about family? Okay.
So Rohit,
The thing Rain says, okay? He's not in that movie. I don't care.
what's your pick?
Whew. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
Ooh.
Okay. Full title, very good.
I'm curious about his semantics with this question, because now that we actually have the picks, I assume it was just Universal Florida, right?
It was
Yep.
Universal. It was Universal. It was either one.
Okay, because
To be
honestly,
fair,
I
they
think.
all have the same rides.
Well, no, I honestly think the obvious choice, and neither of you picked it, would have been the studio tour itself.
Oh yeah, that was a good pick.
Because then you literally could make a whole Muppet special just off of them riding that one ride. You absolutely could. Anyways,
Unfortunately, I didn't make that clear, but it could have been either Florida or.
but neither of you were thinking that far ahead. All right. Anyways, Jokers, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So Robin drags Kermit the Frog down to Universal Orlando because he won't shut the fuck up about the Fast and the Furious Supercharged.
Oh my God.
They wait in line for hours, and they get on the ride. And Robin is super excited. He's all jazzed, and then they ride the ride. And there's a montage. And then they get off the ride, and Kermit's like perturbed. He doesn't like it, but Robin loved it, and he wants to ride it again. So they do.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I love that. Okay. Rohit. Oh God.
All right, you have the Muppets get onto the motorbike adventure, and it's so fast that Miss Piggy is strangling Kermit. Gonzo's wanting to race the ride, so he turns to Super Gonzo and is flying next to it. Beaker is just the animal is just playing the drums in the background at going with the speed of the motorbike. Swedish Chef is just cooking a meal, and then all this sauces are just falling over the seat as well as the tracks, which kind of leads to a little bit of mayhem. But otherwise, the ride is fun and very Muppets friendly.
Please stop the timer. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm sorry.
What's the madness?
Like the madman.
Your story just shotgunned Muppets into a Harry Potter ride. My story was thematically consistent with the themes of the attraction. I told a story of love and family, and also tempering expectations. Your story was basically what they did in the Disney World special.
All right, I'm gonna technically give Rohit 2
fine.
more seconds.
Harry Potter is family through found friendship, and the Muppets are a lot of friends that are a family. And for your thing, you just have Kermit that just can't shut up about this ride. At least for my ride, you have a lot of fun, you have a lot of misadventures, you have Muppets being Muppets, and that's the fun of it.
All right.
Robin wouldn't shut the fuck up, not Kermit. He was being supportive of his nephew.
All right. So
Uncle Kermit, we want to come on the ride.
okay, we might have a couple things to dissect with this one, but first things first. I'll let Dragon decide this one.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm conflicted because I think there's kind of a missed opportunity on both sides here. Because one, I think Rohit had some inaccuracies in his assessment of things here. Because I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong. He said Super Gonzo.
Yeah, so you don't know Super Gonzo?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, am I crazy? Was he thinking of Super Grover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I think that kind of hurt a little bit. But aside from that, it sounds like I think Rohit. And ultimately, it was just which Universal Studios attraction should the Muppets go on. It wasn't necessarily like necessarily have to literally be enthralled like thrown into the ride itself. They just need to go on the ride. I mean,
Where's the argument?
That.
Sorry.
You know what? He makes a good point. Let's give it to Rohit.
All right, Rohit gets the point.
Yep.
I think you should ride Jurassic Park and then 28 seconds of silence.
However, I will say this. I think Men in Black would have been my choice. Men in Black Alien Attack.
All right, so that brings what does that bring the score to, guys?
4-2.
Yep, Rohit has 4. Joker says 2. But did you guys hear? Have you guys heard the words at all?
Yeah, Tiki, did you get a ruling?
No, Jacob. We need a ruling from you, actually.
It feels like we did, but we're not. We need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the heck? Why not?
So we're gonna be a yes.
We're gonna count it.
Yes, let's count it.
Tiki, hit him
boy.
With it. Hit him with
Okay.
it.
And
So one of the words in honor of Pee-wee's Big Adventure was going to be bike or bicycle, and you know what? The word bike is in motorbike, so yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh God.
I'm gonna do this.
So,
Hit the bell! Hit the bell!
I did hit the bell.
No, I mean hit it again while we're saying. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right, Rohit. You have said the word.
Okay.
and as I mentioned earlier, we are doing something slightly different this time. This time, the punishment will not be decided by a coin. This time, it will be decided by
A
wheel.
20-sided dice. Wow.
Well, you were close.
The wheel. Behold, the wheel of punishment.
Oh my God.
It seems less stressful, but more stressful.
Dragon's Choice. I really hope it lands on Dragon's Choice.
That, as you can see, we have various different options. With Dragon's Choice means and keep in mind, Dragon's Choice is whatever he wants, and it doesn't have to be on this list. It's whatever his cunning mind comes up with.
Oh my God. Okay.
And respin, and the respin option, that's just in there for suspenseful purposes. It's as you can see, this is it, and I will count it. So. Let's hope fate smiles upon you, or is at least somewhat kind. And 3, 2, 1.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
What does that mean?
That
means I can say no.
That means in any of the upcoming questions, that means Laser Dude. If Rohit gives his answer, that means Laser Dude can prevent him from using that answer.
I'm not Laser Dude.
Are you actually saying Laser Dude in the comments?
Wait. So can you explain again what the punishment is?
Okay, Rohit. So essentially, if Jokers can prevent you from using an answer,
it's like. What I'm saying is, you give your answer, and he can choose whether or not you can use that answer or not.
Yeah. They have the ability to deflect whatever answer you have, so you're going to have to pick another one if Jokers does that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Honestly, I feel like that's one of the more circumstantial punishments, so I think that was... I honestly kind of think you lucked out a little bit with that one.
Is that just for the next... Is that just for one round, or is that for the rest of the round?
It's just one. It's just one round to keep it fair.
Just one round, unless you take this off.
Or rather, I can use it once, right?
Yep.
Yes. If basically, if you think his answer is too good, you can prevent him from using that answer.
No, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure it wasn't only for the next round.
It's and I will keep this wheel up just in case the other word is said.
What's the other word?
Well, I guess it.
But keep in mind of the other punishments. No points awarded the next win. Lose 15 seconds from the round opener. Switch point totals. Obviously, Dragon's Choice. Opponent chooses answer for you, and you lose 1 point, and you give it to your opponent. So, I'll keep that up next time. Keep that up just in case the next word is said. But since this has the potential to be the last round, Dragon, what do you think we should do?
Let's see. Okay, let's go with the topical one, just to make sure we get it in there. Let's go with the cinematic one, Jacob.
Okay, the cinematic one. What Disney movie would you see on National Cinema Day?
And it's any Disney movie?
Any
Live action
Disney.
animated?
Well, Jacob, you tell him.
Basically, any movie that Disney has made under the Disney banner, be it live action, animated, Pixar, whatever.
Okay.
Fantasia. Speaking of, while we're waiting, that Disney 100 re-release thing that they're doing is awful in the US, but they're releasing Fantasia. Yeah, they're releasing Fantasia in Japan.
Why is it awful though?
Because it's all like really modern movies, isn't it?
Well, no, you're right about that. Yeah,
in Japan, it's like The Little Mermaid, Fantasia.
Yeah, but I think they're actually releasing Cinderella. They put Cinderella in there. I thought.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. That's good.
I thought so.
Ooh, I would see Cinderella on the big screen.
I might be mistaken with something else.
Mary Blair artwork right there.
I'm gonna go see The Little Mermaid and Fantasia, but it's not until like towards Halloween.
Question. So if I provide an answer and then Jokers blocks my say answer, then I have to choose an alternate answer, and that will be my answer then.
Yeah,
correct.
Okay. Beauty and the Beast.
Right. What do you think, Jokers?
I will not block.
All right.
All right. And this one is potentially for the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jokers?
Yeah.
Start us off.
I think that Fantasia is like the quintessential Disney movie. It's really like everything the company stands for. A beautiful animation, great use of music, obviously. Though it wasn't really financially successful, I still think it's the peak and kind of the thesis of Disney as a company. So when I think of like the Disney movie, I usually think of something like Fantasia. So that is what I will be watching on National Cinema Day, whenever that is.
Sunday, Jokers. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. Good. I've never heard of National Cinema Day.
It's this Sunday. Yeah, all the movies.
It's tomorrow. Well, no, it's Friday for you guys. It's
it's the second annual one.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was such a new holiday.
It is.
Wow. Is it national?
Yes.
It's a bank holiday.
Unfortunately, you can't get the day off work because of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Banks aren't open on Sundays anyway.
It's perfect. Yeah, that's why they did it.
All right, Rohit, when you're ready.
The Beauty and the Beast is one of the classics of the Disney Renaissance era. You have great music from the great Alan Menken. You have great voice performances. And overall, the message of the movie is about looking towards the inner beauty, what's inside of the character, what's inside of an individual. And love story between Beauty and the Beast is so mature, so developed, has so much rawness. It's something to just you want to see in the big screen, especially with the big scene with their dancing the ball.
While Beauty and the Beast is a great movie, I think Fantasia really asks to be shown in a cinema where, like, obviously there's benefits to watching Beauty and the Beast in a theater, but I don't think it's quite as striking as Fantasia is, nor do I think it's quite as important as Fantasia is.
Fantasia, while while extraordinary for its time, Beauty and the Beast was the first anime movie to be nominated for Best Picture, nominated for Best Original Score, nominated for Best Original Song, nominated for Best Sound. So if you want to see a movie in the big screen, seeing Beauty and the Beast with those visual.
All right, Kiki, you call it.
Yeah, sorry, Rohit. I think that was pretty much a runaway for Joker, simply because I think you basically just gave a summary on why Beauty and the Beast is a good movie, and Joker's like really explained why it demanded to be seen on the big screen. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's a pretty fast speed round, but Joker's officially wins.
What?
No, I don't.
No,
No, you have the scores reversed.
No.
It's 4-3 now.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. Oh
I'll
my
take
god.
it.
Thanks for rolling
I'm
during
so
that one.
sorry. That's embarrassing. I'm so sorry.
We'll let
Fuck.
this guy be a judge.
You know, it was an uphill
Oh,
battle,
God.
but I'm really glad I could win.
He doesn't even know the game.
Oh my god. I've been so focused on just keeping the timer going that I've like lost track of the actual score. I'm sorry.
You know,
That's
We do need a
funny.
we do need a better
I
way
thought
to
it was weird that this was worth 3 points this one round.
The unmitigated goal, Tiki. Just
It's like,
I'm so sorry.
we do need to find a better way to keep score than just our memory.
Oh, you know
Okay.
what? We should have been doing that the whole time. You're right.
Didn't we just
Okay.
put it in the banner?
Yes, we did. So we
Yeah.
have
used to.
Jokers at 3,
Yes.
Rohit at 4, right?
4.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god.
And just to go over it again, Jokers
Oh,
has
welcome
3.
back, folks. New
Rohit
season.
has 4.
Oh my
Tiki, how many
God.
banners can you have going at one time?
Oh, we can have
Just
we can have like one balloon and one banner at the same time.
Damn
One
it.
scroll at the same
Scroll
time.
and a scroll and a little bubble.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, that's 3-4, and Joker. Keep in mind, Joker still has the ability to penalize Rohit.
I do. And penalize them I will.
Okay. Okay, Dragon. All right, Dragon. You want to go with the question that you wanted to go with?
I mean, I'm tempted
Keep
to
in mind,
use-
we still do have audience questions too. So
I know. I'm just. I want to do an audience question, but I'm tempted to use the wheel question. I mean, Jake, what do you think? Should we use the wheel question or the audience question?
I mean, it'd be kind of hard for to be technically. I guess if we wanted to penalize him, we would just have him re-roll with it, because the one we have in mind is a wheel question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because of that, should we avoid the wheel question?
I would say a re-roll would be that would be a good substitute for a block.
All right. Let's stick with that then.
Yeah,
Let's
that's fine.
see how it goes.
All right, for Tiggy Q, the Wheel of Disney.
Okay.
As you can see here, we have a list of 12 different characters, and we'll actually be merciful this time. Like Jokers.
Yeah.
Since you won, we'll let you choose who spins first.
Ooh. I'll go first.
Okay?
Okay.
And this is the character you'll be stuck with.
Okay.
Also, Fredrickson is spelled wrong. There's no.
I was thinking that as well, but
You
it's
said
okay.
you-
It's a
I'm
party.
sorry.
You told me it was
It's a
SE. You told me it was SEN.
Yeah,
Don't
the
worry
end
about it.
part. We're missing the CK.
It's
The
fine.
C's gone.
He's animated. He doesn't care.
Okay.
Okay.
So you get Grumpy from
Okay.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Wow.
You guys couldn't hear that, but I really like the jingle that this website plays when you
Oh,
when you
it plays
do
a
a
jingle?
spin.
Yeah.
It does.
Can you sing it to us when it finishes?
I muted mine because it was kind of loud.
I could. Do you want me to on the next one?
Yes, I do.
You do it quickly.
Okay.
And so Rohit, this is your character. Eddie Val? All right.
Thank you. That's great. You really, you really illustrated it.
All right. All right. So don't get rid of the wheel just yet because you might need it.
Okay.
So Dragon, since you kind of wanted
All right.
this, Since you wanted this question, I'll let you do the big honors of revealing said question.
Okay, so we have our answers. Wait a minute. If the answer can be blocked, it has to be blocked. Shouldn't it be blocked now before we reveal what the question is? So should we ask?
I would say he should know what the question is.
All right. Okay,
in order to
fine.
decide if he wants to block it or not.
Yeah. That's why I was going with that.
I was making sure. Okay. In honor of the buzz because of the game coming out, and just in general because it's a great movie. Which Disney or Disney adjacent, Disney, Pixar, etc. Which Disney character would make the best RoboCop?
I am going to block Rohith.
Oh.
He got
Okay.
the one cop. He got the one cop on the list.
So for
One
of
two.
two. So since he's blocked my answer, he's used it up. Does that mean I get to pick the answer, or does
No, you get the wheels get spun again.
Spin
You're
again.
gonna get what you get.
All
All
right.
right.
No, you don't get to choose, Rohit. That's not how the wheel works.
Okay.
I'm manifesting Judy Hopps. Oh no, that was the other one. I thought.
Stitch. It's a shame, really, because I would have actually liked to see an argument for Eddie Valiant.
Yeah.
I know.
Grumpy.
I
versus
understand the logic, though.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
RoboCop?
Yes, RoboCop.
Okay.
And Dragon, explain the stipulations you have with this question.
Well, just think which Disney characters. So again, it's not just them like in armor or anything. It's like the full-on Alex Murphy, as in parts blown off, reconstructed as a robot having dealing with the moral crisis, the crisis of am I human, am I human, am I a machine, that sort of thing. The usual
Yeah.
strikes.
So,
The point being,
am I
it's
man,
not
am I
just the
mother?
costume. It's the missing
I
pieces blown off. The same origin as RoboCop and everything.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just to make sure I get this correct. So we're arguing which character, if they were put in place of Alex Murphy in the RoboCop movie, would be a better pick.
Well, who would make the better between these two? Who would make more sense and be the better RoboCop? As in,
Follow-up question.
In terms of being an actual better RoboCop, or just being an actual better character in the
better
RoboCop
substitute for RoboCop. Yes,
Yeah.
better substitute for Peter Weller in RoboCop.
I have a follow-up question. Does this take place in Detroit, or is my Grumpy in the Magic Forest still?
No, I mean, Jacob, what do you think? I was thinking Detroit. What about you?
Let's stick with Detroit.
Okay,
Okay.
we're gonna stick with
Okay.
Detroit.
It would make things funnier.
Okay. Okay. So picture this. Grumpy is in a mining
Wait.
accident.
Start the clock.
Tiki.
Sorry. All right, go ahead.
Grumpy is in a mining accident, probably caused by a cartel or something, and he wakes up as a half dwarf, half robot named Robo Grump, and he goes around in Detroit. He doesn't know how he got there. And he barely knows who he is, but he knows that he's got a grump in him. He's got some grumpiness, and he's gonna go around and kill the cartel that tried to blew all his limbs off. So he does that. He goes around. I think he'd be very effective as RoboCop because he already bosses everyone around.
Rohit.
on a family trip to Detroit from the great state of Hawaii. Stitch and his family get into a car explosion. And Stitch is the survivor. He loses Nani, Lilo, Jumba, Pleaky.
Oh, God.
He is ripped to shreds, but because of his important physiology, he is resurrected as RoboCop. Stitch's abilities versus RoboCop's abilities, he's the baddest motherfucking cop in Detroit. And also, the tragedy of Stitch's character is more dramatic, more somber moment.
I think Stitch was irrevocably turned nice, whereas Grumpy has a darkness within him that cannot be tamed. Like if I opened up the news and it said Grumpy has a manifesto, I would say, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh,
So that's why I think Grumpy is more effective.
Oh my god.
When Stitch loses everything, he can be as feral as he was at the beginning of the movie. His powers makes him a deadly threat to criminals, and the tragedy of losing his loved ones and the heart, the soul of Stitch will come through, and thus he'd be a great RoboCop in the universe and a great RoboCop in the movie or RoboCop.
All right, Dragon, your question. You pick this one.
Jacob, I could, but may I suggest, since Tiki has not seen RoboCop, wouldn't he be the more impartial judge for this?
Okay.
That's totally fair.
All right. I'll let Tiki choose.
Man.
I'll let the deference goes through. So Tiki, you pick.
Okay, you know what? I'm curious what Dragon would have picked, because honestly, I think Rohith kind of has the better pitch for like emotionally, I get where he's coming from, but honestly, like fucking Robo Grump is like an all-timer as far as like the sheer comedy. I gotta give it to that. I'm sorry. I gotta give it to Robo Grump, and this is your guys' fault for putting me in charge as the impartial one. Because
I know the risk that we were taking.
because it's like, if I'm impartial, I can't judge for sure about how much it's gonna hold up to the movie. So, oh my god,
I think that
Robo Grump.
I think that was a fair assessment. What do you think, Dragon?
Yeah, look, we knew we were getting into it. We tossed it to him, but
Grumpy, you do care.
I mean, to be fair, Grumpy does turn nice to at the end of Snow White.
Oh my god.
Yep. All right. So yeah,
and there's a flaw with the whole Stitch thing, considering he's indestructible.
I know I was going to bring that up, but I would have cinched it easily had the Jokers brought that up.
Okay.
Worked in Joker's favor anyway, so
It's like he's able to remember. Literally, one scene in the movie is him like driving a tanker of gas into a volcano and using it to launch himself into a spaceship. I don't think a car explosion would kill him.
Depends on how bad the car crash was.
Yeah, that is true. But all right, yet another tiebreaker.
Yep.
These things always come down to the wire.
Oh, jeez, it is 4-4. Oh, God.
It's like Gabriel Cove is like best answers in Disney Debate Supercut win.
We seriously need to work on that, because I agree that would be a fun video to edit.
That'd be great.
I have a short
never
list.
Gonna happen.
How much?
Do you have a short list, really?
No, I just posted. I have 2.
Oh, okay.
Robo Grump and mine and
Oh, the Thanksgiving one, yes.
Thanksgiving
yes.
debate where we finished, and he said, "What the fuck was that?"
Bob Chapek has a beard.
Yeah.
Like who said what's going on with the
I
Thanksgiving
think Tiki
debate?
did, because Pergron and I just we ranted about George Washington and the founding fathers instead of actually debating the topic.
I have to find that.
It was really good. I really liked it.
I have to find that now. Hold on. All right, so
All right.
what kind? So do we go with to close this off? Do you want to? Let's go truly impartial and pick a good comment quip.
Yeah, I agree. So, Jacob, which one grabs you most?
Well, didn't Laser Dude pose a question?
I believe he did. I think we
He
should go with
did.
that one.
Well, and in solidarity of and celebration of the fact that I'm assuming that his daughter has been born already. Like he's already.
Yes, she has. Yes.
Well, if she hasn't, she's gone missing.
Oh,
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't joke about that, dude. Come on now.
Let me say.
Well, I mean, clearly she was born, so somehow.
I didn't know if she was official. She was here yet.
Yes, she was born.
All right.
She's
Hey,
coming for you.
But as I was trying to say before Dragon ruined the moment,
Guys, joking about the real life newborn daughter of Laser Dude
Let's talk about this after.
Oh.
Let's talk about this after. What's the question?
No, the baby was born. The baby's awesome.
I'm trying to get to that
All right, go
Okay.
on.
before all of you guys interrupted me.
All right, go
What's the
on.
question? What's the question?
Pass out the cigars.
If you were to choose a Disney movie protagonist to fight to the death versus your opponent's pick, who would you choose? Note your pick must be mortal and not be protected by toon logic. And I said I was picking this in solidarity with the fact that he's a beloved contestant here, and unfortunately couldn't be here today. But so hopefully you're still in the comments, Laser Dude.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I didn't see the most recent comments.
Yep.
Me and Jacob with ice cream metaphor. I don't get that one.
Nope.
I don't remember that one. But
Oh, I remember that one. I do remember that one.
You'll have to explain that one to me
Might be
later.
I don't remember the actual question, but I remember the ice cream metaphors.
All right, so guys, what are your picks? This is basically a cartoon KO.
Wait, let me read the question again. So this might be shot down, but I would like to pick Te-Ka from Moana,
All right.
who is technically not immortal.
Who's your pick?
The fire goddess from Moana.
I feel like that should be shot down.
I don't
Yeah.
know. She was defeated. No, I know.
Defeated.
All right.
No, I'll keep thinking. So it's funny.
Just make it quick. Just make it relatively quick.
Oh, it has to be.
Okay, Laser Dude says protagonist. It's gotta be protagonist, so it can't.
Yeah, I
be
just
the
saw
same.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, that makes sense.
Pergron's right. Pergron coming in with the facts.
But at that point, she wasn't.
No, I know. No. I'm past it. I just thought it was
Okay,
funny.
Tafi's a landmass. Okay, let's be honest.
No, she's a fake. She's living. It's like the volcano from lava.
I was going to say that.
Okay.
A landmass that is not the title character.
Let's just get our picks ready.
God, fight to the death?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
No,
I'm gonna pick Tarzan.
okay. I already love this question. All right, I'm on the Tarzan the Fray. I want to see what's going to happen. It's like a monster battle. We gotta see how this ends.
All right, and Rohith.
Yeah, really, make it good.
And Jokers, keep in mind you cannot block his answer this time.
No, I know.
So, can this individual have like superhuman abilities, or no?
Are they a protagonist?
Yes.
I would say as long as they're not invincible.
Well, it says so long as they're mortal
Oh yeah, yeah.
And not
or
protect-
protected by Toon Logic. Those are the only parameters. So they gotta be killable.
Okay. I'll say my choice, and I'll see if it's Elastigirl.
Oh, mortal.
Yeah, she can be killed.
Yeah, for sure.
All
All
right.
right, you got it.
Okay. So, when I was thinking of a character, the first thing that came to my mind past a landmass was a character who could and would kill a man. And boy, does Tarzan pass that vibe. He is a monkey man. He's nice to Jane, but past that, I think he has an anger within him, and I think I think he would rip Elastigirl to shreds. Oh my God, it would be a bloodbath. Thank you.
Elastigirl is a bona fide superhero who can literally stretch her body to unimaginable levels. All she has to do is just surround Tarzan, who is a regular dude who is just chiseled, and just strangle him to death and feel the last breaths. And as Tarzan is thinking of seeing Jane the light, Elastigirl just basically constricts her like a boa constrictor, tosses his body in the trash, and goes home to the family and has a nice dinner. The end.
No, if they were fighting in a jungle, Elastigirl will be wrapped around trees in a second. Because Tarzan, if he knows anything, it's the trees. So I think he could trick her very easily because she's very proud. And once she does that, once she's immobile, wrapped amongst those trees, that's it.
All right.
Elastigirl can hold her own against killer robots and mind control superheroes. She can handle a guy who has a loincloth and hangs around with apes. It's a cakewalk. Elastigirl can Tarzan can even be lucky to touch Elastigirl. She can move fast. She can strangle him. She has much more tricks.
All right, Laser Dude, you're gonna call this one, buddy.
Claude Coringa, to answer your question about how we have not gone to live action Disney's Tarzan, the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate. That is the answer.
Essentially. That's also why he hasn't reappeared in Kingdom Hearts.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also one of the reasons, most likely, on Disney Plus, we still don't have the Legends of
It
Tarzan.
is very, very much, most definitely the reason for that, yes.
What, we don't have what on Disney Plus?
The Legend of Tarzan. Even though we do have like Tarzan, Tarzan 2, and Tarzan and Jane. Which is technically, I believe, Legend of Tarzan, right?
Probably. They've done
I think, well, to be fair, they don't have a lot of their shows from like the early 2000s on there, so.
Laserdew, which one do you want to win? Not your personal pick.
Yeah, so his picks were Elsa versus Mulan.
That would have been a very good fight, actually.
Yeah, it'd be a really cool fight for sure, literally.
Kind of like a fire versus ice kind of thing.
I mean,
I almost picked Clayton because he has a gun. He's the one with the gun.
But not the protagonist.
I know, that's why I didn't pick him. Bringing a gun to a knife fight.
However, you can always make that really obnoxious kind of point. Like, well, in the books, I think Tarzan's original name is like Clayton, but it's not really. Laser Dude, you're killing us here, man. Make a pick already.
He's thinking. Let him think. Let him cook.
He's cooking by candlelight, though.
Laser Dude has made the choice.
Wrong choice.
But I believe that Rohit with Alaska has a stronger pick and debate argument. So you know what that means? Rohit Dar is the winner!
No!
Oh my god.
I know exactly what to do here.
I won!
Rohit Dar wins the debate.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Rohit.
Yeah, great job.
And good game, Laser Dude. I mean, that Joker's wild.
Stop. I'm not.
I know. I'm so used to it being Rohit versus Laser Dude.
Laser Dude, you can tell you are missed.
I will say.
I hope
you can tell that I'm wanted.
Jokers can put on all the sunglasses they like. That's not going to be.
I hope you guys aren't taking that personally. They're just slips.
No.
They're just slips of the tongue.
I will say the tenor of our arguments were on the level of Laser Dude.
Yeah.
Jokers, have you debated against Laser Dude?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Laser Dude would have been more friendly, though.
What are you trying to say, Blue Dragon?
Friendly Canadian.
Oh.
Canadians are notoriously nice people.
He's like, I'm not playing. yes, I know. Like I said,
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
I've only said it like twice during it. Calm down. But, all right, guys. Thank you all for joining. That was all a lot of fun. Thank you all in the comments, including the one and only Laser Dude, Theme Park Priest, Ellie B stopped by briefly too. Looks like Claude, Pergron, Code Gias. Like we had a lot of people here today.
Yeah. This was a really great audience interaction show for sure.
Keeper Colby.
That's Pergron, right?
We're so entertaining.
Isn't that
Yeah, that's Pergron.
Yeah,
Okay, that's Paragon. Okay,
Yeah, I already
sorry, I
said
didn't know.
Yep. So
Z and K channel. You mentioned Z and K, right?
I don't think so, but so thank you all for coming, and thank you guys for competing. You guys had a very good game night, and Dragon Tiki, thank you for joining us this evening.
Sure.
Yep.
Also, LOL, I think you think this would end in an hour and a half.
It's
I
okay.
know, right?
Yep.
Trust me. I tried my best.
That's all
I
good.
told him we
That's
budget
okay.
for 2 hours. He never listens.
It felt quick.
Well, to be fair, it's only 2 hours now. So,
All right.
Yeah.
all right. So, thank you everybody, and tune in. See you next time.
Goodbye. I love you.